fight tonight.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy J-Dub coming at you with another tanking video. We'll be discussing what is the best race for your tank. Yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do that. I just thought it would be funny to troll you guys. So yeah, this video is going to be about races, which one is the best for your tank, and we'll be going over 3 races, which I think is probably some of the top choices for you to pick as a new player, existing player, or returning player to Elder Scrolls Online in 2020. Now, with this being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. You know what? Screw it. Let's just jump right into it. I'll be going over 3, and then I'll go over a few honorary mentions that wouldn't be bad for tanking as well. So, this is going to be for PvE only. So I just have to kind of like throw that out there because I know for a fact we're probably going to get some PvPers in here and be like, oh man, this race is stupid, man. Nobody uses this in PvP. Well, no shit. I'm not doing it for PvP, okay? All right, so this is for PvE only. We're looking at the first one is going to be Nord. Now, in the first passive here for your racials, this is going for new players, returning players, existing players. The top one here doesn't really matter that much because it's whatever. It only lasts for like a short amount of time, right? So almost all of them have increased your experience gain for two-hander, resto staff, destruction staff, light armor passive, heavy armor, sword and board, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That shit's stupid. Doesn't matter. It helps you out a little bit, but it only helps you out for like 10 days and until you get it leveled up, and then you're good, right? Increase the duration of any consumed drink by 15 minutes. That's actually not bad, but be it for a tank, you're more than likely going to be using food, so drinks don't really matter that much to you as a tank. If you are in PvP, I'm sure drinks are all the shit, right? Whatever, right? So PvE doesn't really matter so much because a tank you're using food. Bewitched, the Bewitched one, the new food that gives you a crap ton of stam, health, and magicka and health recovery. Yeah, this one doesn't really matter. Second one here, increase your max health by 1,000 and cold resistance by 2310. Gain immunity to the chilled status effect. Now, there are some enemies that do chill you and stuff like that, or whatever, right? There are some cold resistance and stuff like that. It's very, very rare. It doesn't pop up that often. Vet DSA, I think you have some enemies that do that on the sphere. The sphere one, the mages there. They lay down a blockade sometime of cold. And they do hit you with a light attack of cold damage, so the cold resistance here is not bad. It's okay, right? The biggest thing is the max health, super nice. Also here, you get the max stam, extra 1,500, super good, super nice. This is actually another thing that a reason why a lot of people are choosing Nords is this one and the very last one here. When you take damage, you gain 5 ultimate. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So you're going to constantly be gaming ultimate. When you par that, it does stack with heroic slash here that gives minor heroism. So yes, minor heroism here does and will stack with the ulti gain you get here. Also, if you are in your CP and you put 120 points into here, right? You get this passive here that when you fall below 20% health, you gain major heroism, granting 3 ultimate every 1.5 seconds or 9 seconds. This effect can occur once every 20 seconds. Yeah, so this does stack as well. Major heroism and minor heroism does stack on top of this as well. So keep that in mind. So it is kind of nice. You'll be getting quite a bit of ultimate every 10 seconds. Because you're a tank, you're going to be taking damage, a lot of damage. Damage over time, area effects, like direct damage, all that shit, you're going to be taking a lot of it. if you're doing your job. If you're not and you're trolling people, well, you're not going to be getting 5 ultimate every 10 seconds then. Increase your spell and physical resistance by 3960. This is the reason why a lot of people are choosing it and picking Nord, is because you can sit here and run some, medium armor on your body, some light armor pieces. I know on my Locestes hard mode video that I posted the other day, I had some worm pieces and some light armor pieces on my body, and you could potentially run that and still get away with it. So it's really, really nice to have that big bulk of physical and spot resistance, because you can really kind of like almost do your own thing with light armor, and throwing some light armor pieces on there and stuff like that. As a tank, you'll more than likely want to use heavy armor here because of the passives here. I'm not going to go over them because this is what this video is about, right? And you can kind of read these yourself once you unlock them. The way to unlock these, by the way, is I think it's like 3 pieces or 5 pieces of light armor, heavy armor, medium armor. Put it on your body, take it off, and then it'll unlock this. I can't remember if it's 3 or 5. They keep changing this shit, so whatever. So if you're a new player, definitely do that and kind of look at them. I'll be doing another video on what skills and passives to unlock as a tank. Save that for another video. So this is Nord, and we're going to be jumping into the next race now. And the next race is going to be Argonian. Again, the top one doesn't really matter that much, but if you're doing solo content, increase swim speed by 50% is freaking amazing. Swim across the ocean to get from point A to point B extremely fast, or faster than other people. Or you could throw on rapids and get a major expedition. Totally up to you. Not the same thing, but whatever. And then the top one here, increase your experience gain with resto staffs. As a tank, are you going to be using resto staffs in 4-man content? Potentially. In trials, more than likely not. Increase your healing done by 6%. Obviously, just super nice. That goes for any of the healing that you do. Green's Dragon Blood, whatever your heal is as a tank in that situation is going to increase it by 6%. Super nice. Increase your max health by 1,000 and disease resistance by 2310. Gain immunity to disease status effects. Again, same thing pretty much as the cold resistance. The biggest thing here is increase your max health by 1,000. That's actually really nice. Increase your max magicka by 1,000. And then the biggest thing here that will help you sustain as a tank, even though if you already are a Dragonite, right, and you have and you're Argonian, this will be amazing. So on a Dragonite, for existing players, returning players, newer players, there's a passive ability there that whenever you pop an ultimate, you gain 46 health, magicka, and stamina equal to the points you use, right? So you'll have to look at that and read it. It's in the Earth and Heart ability. I think it's the 3rd passive down. Just check it out, read it for yourself. I'm doing another video on classes, which one I consider to be the classes next, and that'll be either today or tomorrow or sometime this weekend. So yeah, at the date of this recording, it's Friday, the 21st. So that's why I say this weekend or whatever. So whenever you take a pot here, you restore 4,000 health, magic, and stamina, right? So let's say you take a health pot that is only going to heal you for 10k. That's it. It's health pot, heal you for 10k. That's it. Well, when you take a potion that does that, right, add 4,000 stam, magicka, and health. So you take that health pot that does 10k health, you're adding 4k health, magic, and stam. So you're taking 14k health, 4k stam, and magicka. So if you take a tri-stat pot, and let me get one out right quick, and I can kind of show you what we're talking about. Where's alchemy? There it is. Take this out, and here is the tri-stat, right? So the tri-stat here, right? Restore 8k health, 7k magicka, and 7k stamina. So when you take a pot, you're gonna add 4k to each of this. So 8k plus 4k, 12k. So you know 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So everybody can do math. So you're getting 12k health. That's pretty big, right? Like it's pretty good, right? 12k health immediately on top of 11k magicka and 11k stam. That's pretty huge. So that's just with tri-stat pots, or excuse me, that's with the crown pots, and then the actual pots that you make are a little bit better. So just keep that in mind. That's actually really good. So this is why I chose Argonian as to be the second. This is I would tell people like, hey, if you're new to tanking, and you choose a Dragon Knight as your first class, and they're like, what race should I be? I will normally say, you know, you have three choices. Argonian, Imperial, Nord. Either one of those. Argonian is going to help you with sustain. Nord is going to help you with being a little bit more tankier. And then Imperial is just going to help you with a little bit of sustain as well. You know, and we'll get into that. That's going to be the next one we go to. So I usually tell them those three picks, and it's kind of up to you which one you want. Do you want to look like a dragon, or not a dragon, a freaking dinosaur that walks on two legs? Or do you want to look like a tall warrior? Or do you want to look like a freaking short dude, because that's what Imperials are, right? So it's totally up to you, whichever one you want. Do you want help with sustain? Do you want to, you know, be a little bit tankier, or, you know, do you want a good pull? And a good stam pull, good health pull for Imperial. So it's totally up to you. 100% up to you. So let's go ahead and look at the next race, and that is going to be Imperial. All right, so now we're on to the Imperial, and this is another good choice. These are the top three choices for races that I would pick: Nord, Argonian, Imperial. One of those three, 100%. Every single one of the passives are amazing. Would 100% be okay with any one of these three picks. So the first one on the Imperial passive: increase your experience gain with 100 shield, skill line by 5%. You know, I say that that's kind of like whatever, dull, whatever, but honestly, getting to spell wall takes forever. So honestly, as Imperial tank, I kept hiccuping there. This actually wouldn't be too bad to get to spell wall, you know, faster, but it's again not needed. Whatever, right? Increase the gold gain by 1%. Again, whatever. Increase your max health by 2k. That's a lot. That's actually a lot. Okay. It used to be there. I think it used to be more, but I can't remember. But anyways, regardless, as of right now, that's quite a bit. 2k is a lot. Everything else is usually 1k. I think this is the highest, 2k. And then again, increase your max stam by 2,000. Again, huge. That's huge. Reduce the cost of all your abilities by 3%. Again, another huge thing. That's every single one of these abilities is reduced by 3%, including your ultimate cost. That's crazy good. And then the last part here, when you deal direct damage, you heal yourself for 394. That's okay. And you restore 333 magicka and stamina. This effect, the effect can occur once every 5 seconds. That's actually not bad. I mean, it's not super amazing or anything, but it's not bad. It's kind of like, that's kind of nice to have, right? So again, every single one of these passives here, which are the bottom three, are just really, really nice. Like even this one up here isn't bad. So Imperial is actually a pretty good choice. I don't really say that either one, you know, this one is 1,000% better than the other or anything like that. I think that I just wanted to show you that, you know, the top three that I would consider to be the best would obviously be Imperial, Argonian, or Nord. Those three are 100% some of the best, right? Obviously, there's other races that you can choose that are good as well, and we'll be going over three more. So let's go ahead and jump into the other three, and I'll tell you why these are good honorary mentions. Okay, and now we're looking at our orc as one of the honorary mentions, and the reason why I chose this one as one of the first honorary mentions to look at is because when you're getting into the trial setting and even as a little bit as a tank, what you can do is have your CP set up as a DPS and put on some DPS gear as this dude, and then do some damage, right? Because obviously in every single dungeon, you don't need a tank for every dungeon. You don't need a tank for every situation in the trials, right? Sometimes you do need two, sometimes you need three, but you don't always need two, and you don't always need three. So Orc is a good choice because you can swap him to a stamina DPS and do actually decent damage. The Tremors actually swaps to DPS, a stamina DK, and does really good damage. If you come into stream, which I stream our Godslayer progression runs that we just started every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, starting at I start stream at Sunday through Friday, starting at 5 p.m. Going until whenever I get tired. But our progression days for Godslayer progression is Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays, starting at, is it 9 Eastern or something like that? I think it's 9 Eastern. I don't remember. I think it's 9 Eastern until 11:30. Yeah, it's 9 Eastern. I'm stupid. Yeah, it's 9 Eastern. Anyways, so if you want to tune in for that, that's 100% up to you, and you can kind of see how much damage he's actually doing and shit like that. Like it's pretty crazy. Like he's actually doing some higher damage. Sometimes he'll do higher damage than other DPS that only DPS. So it's pretty crazy. So Orc is a really good choice. Increase your experience gain from heavy armor skill line. Yeah, that's whatever, right? And then increase your crafting inspiration gain by 10%. This is actually kind of nice because when you actually go and start leveling up some of these crafting stuff, which you'll want to get medicinal use, obviously, potentially this year, which I'll be going over in another video. Medicinal use, 100% good. This will actually speed this up a little bit, as it's already been sped up enough because you can craft multiple pots at once now. If you're a newer player, returning player, or existing player, and just maybe this slipped your mind, you can craft multiple pots at one time. You can craft multiple things at one time. So it's really, really nice when you're trying to hurry up and level alchemy. You're like, hey man, we got 5 minutes before raid, let's go. This is actually kind of nice there. So max stam 2k, a lot. That's a lot of max stam. It's actually really good. Increase max health by 1,000. That's also amazing. When you deal damage with a weapon ability, you heal for 600 health every 4 seconds. So Pierce Armor, Heroic Slash, more than likely of the two that you're going to be using as a tank. There we go. So those are the main two that you'll more than likely have up quite a bit. I was going to go over some other ones, but as a tank, you're more than likely going to be using those two abilities 100% of the time. Okay, last one. Increase your weapon damage by 258. That's actually quite a bit. And then reduce the cost of your sprint by 12%. And increase the movement speed bonus of sprint by 12%. That is a freaking mouthful. Why do they word it like that? Anyways, you reduce the cost of sprinting and then increase your sprint speed. That's what's going on right here. It's pretty good actually when you're going for speed runs, or speed runs, and stuff like that, which we're technically going for Godslayer. All we need is a no-death speed run hard mode, and we're done, right? So, anyways, this is actually kind of nice. You can get from point A to point B, potentially to pull the ads a little bit quicker in dungeons and stuff like that. It's actually kind of nice to get from point A to point B. It's just a really nice passive to have. But even in dungeons, you can swap to like DPS gear and do a little bit of damage. And then when you're like, okay, I need to swap to tank gear, give me a second, swap to it, use alpha gear or whatever, and then just swap your gear and your skills, and you're good to go. You can tank in this setup as well. So this is one of the honorary mentions. We got two more that I think are pretty decent choices as a tank. So let's go ahead and hop over to, let's do Breton. Breton's actually a really good choice, and you'll see why. So we're looking at the Breton, right? And some of you may have been like, "What the? You just said Breton?" Yeah, Breton's not a bad opportunity. Bad opportunity. It's not a bad choice for a race, and here's the reason why. As a tank, obviously you're building into health. You're building into resistance. So already I thought my dog was about to throw up. You know that sound that the dog made, like the thing. She just did that, and it just freaked me out there for a second. So that's why I stopped. Anyways, you're already building into resistance and health and stuff like that. So, but the thing is you use a lot of magicka, and if not a majority of your skills as a tank are all magicka. Inner range, blockade, talons, chains, your heal, orbs, igneous shields. If you're looking at a warden, you got Arctic winds, living vines, blockade, inner range, impale or not impale. The shard things that immobilize. I forget what it's called. Um, let's see. As a nightblade, you have cloak, path, swallow soul if you use it. What's the one that gives minor resolve and ward? I forget what it's called, but you have that. That's magicka too. I can't even remember what that's called. What the hell? Mirage or whatever. What else? You have blockade again. So I mean, like you have so many magic abilities, and this is actually not a bad choice. And I used Breton for like the longest time when I came to PC. When I swapped to PC, I was using Argonian, then I swapped to Breton, I swapped to Argonian. I went back and forth because both of them are really freaking good for Magicka sustain. Like, really good. So you look at the first one, increase experience. Okay, this is trash. Anyways, increase alliance points by 1%. Good. Increase your Magicka by 2k. Super nice. Increase your spell resistance by 2310. And then, of course, it doubles if you're affected by burning, chilled, or concussed, which is actually not that bad. You know, if you're a DK, you already get 3,300 spell resistance on top of the 2,310 here as a Breton. So you're going to be looking at some pretty high spell resistance. Also, increase your mag recovery by 100. That's kind of shit, but it's actually not that bad. So it's okay, actually. But here's the biggest one. Reduce the cost of your magicka abilities by 7%. Pretty big, honestly. So when you look at some of these, like orbs, 28, 35. I mean, you just look at some of these abilities here on a Templar. Pretty cheap, right? Looking at blockade at 28.35. You know, I mean, a lot of these abilities are really, really cheap now. So super nice to have as a Breton. It is an honorary mention for this reason because of the 7% reduction. A lot of people are going to be like, well, that shit's stupid. You don't need to be a Breton, blah, blah. Yeah, you don't need to be a Breton, but it's not bad to be one. I mean, tanking an ESO as far as like races, not one is 10 times better than the other. They all bring a unique factor to the tanking. The only, at least in this video, there are, right? The only ones that I'm not going to go over is a Dark Elf, which could potentially be, a decent pick as well. But I just didn't pick them because I don't think they're better than any of the ones that I'm choosing here. Dark Elf wouldn't actually be that bad, actually. Now that you think about it. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the last one. And, let's talk about that one. All right, so we're looking at Redguard now. And I'm actually going to go over the Dark Elf here in a second. I'm actually going to do it on the last one to kind of show you why it might be a pretty decent honorary pick. And then that's the last one we're doing. So we're looking at Redguard. Redguard's another good choice. Increase one hand, okay, shield, whatever. Increase the duration of any food eaten by 15 minutes. You're more than likely going to be eating food. Obviously, in some situations, you may swap to using drinks, but it's very rare and it's an occasion, and it's more than likely you're going to be doing something like what is it called? Progressions and stuff like that, trying to find the best optimal way to do certain stuff, so you could swap between foods. So reduce the cost of your weapon abilities by 8%. That's your pierce armor, heroic slash type stuff. Reduce the effectiveness of snares applied to you by 15%. If you're looking at Veteran Sunspire hard mode or just even Veteran Sunspire or Sunspire in general, you have the Furies and the Fates and all that stuff. They do apply that, or is it the Furies? I think it's the Furies that apply that stupid, annoying snare to you that you cannot purge for whatever reason, Zos logic. Um, that would reduce it. So this passive here. Increase your max stand by 2k. That's actually huge. There's no anywhere on Redguard for increased health, so you might have to focus health a little bit here, but you won't have to on the stam that much. When you deal direct damage, you restore 950 stamina. This can occur once every 5 seconds. Now again, if you know anything about DKs, every I think it's every time you use an Earth and Heart ability, you regain 990 stamina. So on top of this, so you heavy attack into an igneous shield, you heavy attack, you get some stamina back on top of the champion point here. Where is it? It's heavy attack, tenacity. Anytime you heavy attack, you restore that much. So if you have like 64, 56 points or whatever points into here, you'll get that much more stamina back on top of hitting igneous shields right after, getting 990 stamina. So a heavy attack could potentially get you a shit ton of stamina immediately. So this is why I picked a Redguard. Now, let's go over a Dark Elf and why that might be a solid choice at the end of the day. And we're looking at the Dark Elf now, and it's okay. So I'm like stuttering like all over the place trying to figure out the words to say. Let's just go over the passives and I'll tell you a little bit about them, right? So increase your experience from dual wield, whatever. Reduce your damage taken from environmental lava by 50%. Whatever. Increase your max magicka and max stamina by 1875. That's actually pretty huge. It's almost 2k. At least it's higher than 1k. A little bit lower than 2k. That's actually pretty good, right? So far looking pretty good, right? Increase your flame resistance by 2310. Gain immunity to the burning status effect. Yeah, okay. Increase your weapon and spell damage by 258. That's actually not bad either. Now, the reason why a Dark Elf might be a decent pick for a tank, and I started thinking about it, I was like, you know what? It's not that horrible, but it's not that great. Is the max stamina, max magic is actually kind of nice, and the spell damage and weapon damage is nice. So you could potentially be like an off-tank Dark Elf and swap to like DPS and do some DPS there when you don't need the second tank. So there are situations where you don't need a tank the entire time. I can tell you one right now, Direfry's Keep, the last boss. You don't ever need a tank in there because the last boss is you can't even keep taunt on it because it's lost logic, right? I don't know why it's like that. It just is. So I mean, there's certain situations that you can swap to DPS gear and sets and stuff like that and do a little bit of damage because you can't gain aggro. You know, here's another one. Is it Banished Cells? What? No, it's not Banished Cells. Is it? Not Banished Cells. What's the other one? Crypto Hearts. No. The one with Slime Crawl, right? So, Wayrus 1. You don't need a tank on, I think, the second boss after the alligator because you can't gain aggro on him. The one where he teleports all over the place. He has like an AoE going on the ground. There's like 3 ghosts that spawn and hit you with ice damage. Yeah, I mean, you can't gain aggro on him either for whatever reason. The Lamia boss and not Selena's Web, but the other one, Arx Corinium or whatever, right? The Lamia boss at the end, you can gain aggro on him and you can keep him most of the time, but not all the time. Like you could have taunt up and he'll turn to somebody else and start attacking him. I don't know why. That's just the way it is, right? So, you know, being an off tank or being a class like Orc or something like that is actually not a bad thing. Orc, you know, Dark Elf. It's not that horrible of a choice to do a little bit extra damage when you can't sit there and do your job, right? It does obviously help if you do something like that to run debuff sets like Alkosh or Caltrops to major fracture them. Maybe even throw on your back bar, a lightning staff if you don't have a healer, or do like blockade or even like Ellie Train or something like that. Throw orbs, still help out your group a little bit there, right? But these are the races that I think are great, or at least good choices for you to pick for tanking in ESO. So hopefully this video helped you. Down in the comment section down below, I will have timelines for each individual race if you want to check them out individually. So those will be time stepped down below in the comments and be pinned. And other than that, you're more than welcome to come by the stream. If you have like an immediate question you want answered quickly, you can come by stream. I stream pretty much every day, Sunday through Friday, starting at 5 p.m. Central. That's 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, and then 3 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to find me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv//JDub. That'll be in the comment section down below or in the description. If you just want to come by, say what's up, and say, hey, appreciate the videos, whatever, totally up to you. Or just come by and ask some questions. I get tons of people that ask questions all the time. So more than welcome to come by. Other than that, thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a great weekend if you're watching this within the next couple days. And hopefully this new update on the 24th, which is going to be a Monday, you will have to re-download the game. So hopefully, this improves the frames on Xbox and PS4. I pray that it does, because if it does, I will be coming back to Xbox and playing a little bit. I may or may not stream it. I haven't decided yet, but might get on a trial stream or something like that for, Xbox. Maybe. We'll see. But that's all up in the air. That depends on ZOS and increasing the performance on console. Hopefully it happens, but we'll see. You guys have a great weekend and great week whenever you're seeing this, and we'll see you in the next video.